What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Global Nerds Podcast. To my right, I have the Night Moon Wolf himself, Ty. To my bottom right corner, around the East Coast, somewhere, someplace, I love you. We have Mark.
Yeah.
And in floating above us, we are all on a round table. This guy's on a rocket chair looking down at us from his throne. It is Shy. How you doing, Shy?
Yo, I'm doing great. Yes, sir.
Yeah, together we are the force that is teaching, we're the Power Rangers force that is teaching kids how to be safe in promiscuous times. We are Power Rangers STD. I don't know if we're going to keep that in.
Power Rangers STD.
What? STD?
It's like the main villain is like that gym coach who they force to do the sex ed class every time. Did you guys ever go through that in like middle school?
The sex ed? Yes.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of things should be, but no, they wanted to be taught.
Those
was weird,
are
though.
gym teachers. Those poor gym teachers were miserable. They were clearly miserable.
I don't think the UK had much of a sex ed back when I was in school. It was more like, if you have sex, you die. Don't have sex, kids. And like, all right, okay, calm it down there. To be fair, I can't even remember what it was like for us. Here's a banana, put it on, and that's what you do. Boys need to wear it, otherwise you'll die.
For us, if you even think about having sex, you might just get chlamydia and die.
Yeah, that's.
I'm like, see, I'm gonna make 10 babies then.
If you don't get AIDS and spontaneously combust.
Are you doing it right? It says all the stuff. Are you even doing it right?
Just shout out to all the gym teachers out there. We know that you guys did not sign on for that. We sympathize. We truly do.
Oh, I'm getting raised for this. Yeah, if I gotta teach this, they're like, no. Damn. Fuck this.
I didn't sign on for this shit. I guess gym teachers should expect that in the job description from now on.
So you're going to be teaching sports and sex ed. God damn it. God damn it.
Anything can happen.
And because of the curriculum, we need you to make it as cringe as possible. It's going to be awkward. It's just a month. Might be longer. Thank you. Do you want a raise? Do you need a hug?
Do you just want this? Because you're going to be doing it. You're going to be teaching it. And you're going to get all the really weird random questions.
Speaking of all the really weird random stuff in the world, what do you guys want to talk about today?
Well, we have quite a lot of topics. So I don't know if we should start off with the big one where everyone's going to be probably tuning in to listen to, and that is the YouTube, Jack's Films, and Sniperwolf, or Sniperwolf.
AKA YouTube blatantly playing favorites with a psychopath.
Yes, the whole you can, as long as you've got millions of subscribers making YouTube millions of dollars per month or per year, that you can pretty much do what the fuck you like.
And we've seen this with many creators, even on Twitch, where they can get someone demonetized, knocked out of the freaking ring, get their channel deleted, Nick. And they're still going on with their careers. They can do all this doxing, they can do all this stuff and not get punished whatsoever.
I think who here would like to describe the full story for those who don't know it?
I will do it because I've just literally finished a video on this, and I've been kind of following it properly for the past couple of days, or past week or so. So, starting right at the beginning, basically, there's a load of people that do reactions. So they'll take content and they'll react to it. Now, you can either do two things. You can do it really lazy, or you can do it properly and like add your own flavor to it. But effectively, a YouTuber known as Sssniperwolf took a load of footage from TikTok and would react to it. So let's say, for example, you're seeing, I don't know, a wasp that has a parasite, and then someone's pulling it off. She'll be like, "Oh my God, that's really crazy," or "I would have swatted it," and then it would move on to the next one, and that's not transformative. But what she was also doing was not crediting the creator. Now, a lot of people, when you borrow footage, when you do whatever, you normally at least credit so people can go and look at the original video, which is, I think that is absolutely fair. Now, Sniperwolf was getting millions and millions of hits, and she wasn't crediting them. She was basically giving multiple different kind of reactions that weren't reactions, and it is basically known as freebooting, where you just basically take someone's work and then you upload it for yourself, blah blah blah. So another YouTuber known as Jax Films hates this. He's gone against reaction channels in the past. You had like Jinx back in the day that would just literally just watch an entire, say, movie and nod his head and basically go, "All right, cool," and then that would be it. So Jack has had this entire thing for multiple years doing this, just like kind of making people aware and saying you shouldn't be doing this. But rather than just making multiple videos going like "fuck you" or "how dare you," he does it in a comedy way. So with Jinx, he basically did the exact same thing as what he did, which is just smile and nod, but he reacted to the reacted video. So over the past couple of months with Sniperwolf, he's been playing a game called like Bingo, it's basically a bingo version, which I'm going to quickly grab up as I talk. So with this, he made a channel called Jax Films, which is basically a parody of her channel, because it's Sniperwolf. So on the other things that basically she's done so much like bad stuff. So he calls it Sniperwolf Bingo, and he has a list of all these something like, what is that? Baby talk, random tangent, any rhyming words, crusty, musty, etc. TikTok does not match title, that sort of thing. So if she does anything like that, you mark it off on a bingo. Now, he's been doing this for, like I say, a couple of months. And again, he's not attacking, he's not doing anything whatsoever. He's just critiquing, making it into a parody, which is absolutely fine in the TOS of YouTube. But about a week ago-ish, she did something that you should never ever do to any YouTuber or anyone that you have a problem with, or just in fact never do it anyway. And that is that she put up on her Instagram, should I go visit Jax Films' house? It's 5 minutes away from my shoot. And she put a poll, yes or no, and then she actually went to his house and took a photo of the house and posted it, or filmed it, and then posted it on her Instagram Live. Now, this is doxing, and the fact is that YouTube has what I thought was a very strict policy of you're not allowed to do this, because it's off-platform behavior, where effectively they don't want people coming along and messing with it. What could damage their the advertisers. They want to say it's like the ecosystem, but in a way it is just literally, we don't want advertisers to pull out because of said action, so we'll take it in place. Now, this would have been this was a open and shut case, no investigations whatsoever. She took down all the stuff and then pulled but he's been harassing me for months, where she's been stealing and making millions of dollars a year, that hundreds and thousands of dollars off other people's work. So YouTube took an entire week to sit down and go, what's going on? And they released a statement on Twitter, which is one of the most shittiest takes in the entire world. They basically said Confirmation to Sssniperwolf has received a temporary monetization suspension per creator responsibility policies of platform actions that put others, in brackets, personal safety at risk, harm our community, and the behavior of both sides isn't what we want on YouTube. Hoping everyone helps move this conversation to a better place. Now, this personally has pissed a lot of people off because effectively this is a small holiday. Oh, we've taken your money away, but you're already a multi-millionaire. You also have one channel that's still monetized that you will make a certain amount of money come through. And this has basically caused the entire YouTube community, like of everyone that is, to kind of go, what the actual fuck's going on? How dare you? She should be completely and utterly booted off the platform. Like if it was a male creator, and I do know this would have happened, if it was a male creator going to her house or any other female creator, they would have been kicked off the platform straight away because this is a dangerous thing. So kind of all in on it is that basically YouTube have massively fucked up. Everyone knew that they wouldn't do anything major, and she got away scot-free.
I had a few thoughts about this. I've watched a couple of videos. I'm going to watch yours later. I do agree what she did was absolutely positively stupid and horrible. I did watch a couple of his videos where he reacted to her. He's just as bad. Anyone who's reacting to a bad creator, and we've seen this before, it doesn't help. We've seen this with Suzy Liu, who has uploaded many anime, full episodes and everything. And what do the companies do? They leave it. So same with YouTube.
Well, the thing is, that Sniperwolf and her ilk are straight up stealing content. Jax Films is one of the people who is trying to fight that, and he fights it through comedy. And I've watched this video. I watched the videos. I think it's funny, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think he's done anything wrong or that he is the fault on this one. Let's put it this way. Let's say, Ty, you have a massive TikTok, and you suddenly you made some bangers, some really funny ones, and you think that this is all like fantastic. Now imagine someone comes along and steals this, and they make $1 million per thing off your content. Would you be okay with that, or would you be more like hell no? Or would you be more of the fact that someone has come along and gone, do you know what? This isn't right. You shouldn't be stealing this. No credit is given, by the way. It's just literally, and all your watermarks have been cropped out, and she's stealing your stuff. Would you be okay with that?
I'd be taking him to court. I'd be handling this in an utterly different way.
That might not be an option, though.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest problem, and why I have such a problem with this is, instead of, what was another situation?
By the way, Phil,
I think it was KSI and I forget her name off the top of my head. Pokemon. They were having battles back and forth almost to the point of this. And finally, they found a neutral ground and they talked it out. But most of these people are stupid. Money gets to their heads. Oh, you're going to steal my content? Or you're going to try to call me out for stealing content? Fine, I'll just dox your butt and get you deplatformed. It's either or. And it's stupid.
It's more than just disproportionate. It's straight up, it's bad shit. I mean, like, you are putting a guy in danger when you dox them like that. I mean, this is why YouTubers really need to be careful with, like, not showing their homes. Like, you've got people out there who can pull off some straight up detective shit and expose where you live to some very bad actors. And that's what Sniperwolf did. And she did it over basically the guy making jokes that weren't even hurting her and calling her out on some bullshit she was doing. And she responded with that. And YouTube and YouTube at most gave her a light slap on the wrist because she's making them millions upon millions of dollars.
Yeah. And then going back to the Susie Liu thing, the fact is that voice actors don't get paid that much whatsoever.
Oh no, we are infamous for getting like financially fucked in the mouth, man.
Yeah. So imagine that you do an entire series, let's say 12 episodes of whatever anime, and it's your first gig and they pay you, I don't know, $2,000, and then that's for the entire thing, or not even that, under $1,000. What Susie Liu was doing was she was taking that one, putting it behind a paywall, and then not actually giving a proper reaction. So when she was looking at Naruto and stuff like that, she was just going like, oh no, where people were just tuning in, because if you imagine like you have to pay for Crunchyroll or Funimation or whatever it was at the time, that you had to pay $5, but then again you just go onto the YouTube page and you can watch it for free. Now again, we don't know what happened. No, we know what happened with Patreon. Her Patreon got shut down, but she was making like $10,000 a month. So that to me is not fair at all, because you're earning more money than, say, for example, Crunchyroll would make at the time, or what these people or these voice actors were making. So I don't think it's fair. And just to say, like, say going back to Jack's films and Sniperwolf saying both at fault. Yeah, again, if Jack was just constantly going, fuck you, Sniperwolf, like, fuck you every single time, I could kind of see that and be like, okay, he shouldn't have been doing this. But the fact is that he is, one of the only few that is, stepping up and going, these people aren't getting traction. They're not getting the views that they're determined. Yet this girl's pulling in 5-6 million views. And this has been going over for 3 years, by the way. So this is not like it's a recent thing. And that, people are finding out about it now. She's in the wrong, and to put to put the family in danger, by doxing it, because you now have to think of what's the next cause. You have people in this world that will go, I need to defend my queen. I need to make sure that then maybe Sniperwolf will do this.
She's never going to notice you. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't even her doing it. She got the address from one of her Sims, and they said, yeah, go to his house. We want to see how this effer's doing. I'm pretty sure she was provoked by her audience, but for more views, for them.
And she has some straight up psychotic fans who would literally kill for her.
Oh,
Jack could get hurt. Like, Jack's films could get hurt because of this.
Yeah, and we've been seeing it for years, and we're seeing it today more heartily. Every community, every freaking watcher will have those stupid ass people who will do this crap, regardless if you disregard it on stream in front of millions of people. People will do this.
Yeah, I mean, like, the combination of that kind of influence with, like, sort of the dark side of parasocial relationships and loneliness and misogyny thrown, like, all in there. Like, people do some scary shit when they're on that kind of cocktail.
Yeah, and the way that I see this is, the fact is she should be punished, because she's not like it's not like she's in she's a teenager and she doesn't know best, and it's suddenly all this fame's like gotten to her head. The fact is that she knows what she's doing. The fact is that she knows that some person will come along, and now that you've got his address and you've shown it to people, you can then swat him. You can have other people go to the house, and that kind of messes up loads of different things right there. So again, like, she is completely in the wrong. She should be punished by having like all her channels taken down and banished from the platform.
And any other creator would get their channels nuked from the platform, and they would deserve it, but not her.
And this
is Sniperwolf doing this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I never
another
really
problem.
care for her anyway.
Another big problem we have is the multiple channels.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'm getting paid by Instagram. Oh, look, I'm getting paid by Facebook. Oh, look, I have 4 different channels doing different content for YouTube. Stop me.
The thing is, YouTube straight up bent their own rules to protect her because, like, they have this creator responsibility kind of thing. If you do something shitty that they see as like counter to YouTube's ethos, it doesn't even matter if it's on another platform. You will get banned from it for it. I mean, like, we look at what happened with Russell Brand lately. You know, he received allegations of sexual assault, which really didn't have anything to do with his YouTube career, but he had his channel at least suspended. I don't know if he was straight up demonetized or just suspended from monetization. He was, the whole channel demonetized. Thanks for that. But yeah, just for allegations that allegations that may or may not be true. Jury's still out on that, but had nothing to do with his YouTube career. Sniperwolf straight up doxed the person. We saw her do it, and she did it through Instagram, but that doesn't matter. According to YouTube's own rules, she should still get banned, and they go and twist their own rule just to protect their golden goose.
Yeah.
Now, the terrifying part is we have seen multiple channels get taken down by false copyright, false this, false that.
Yeah.
And that might be taken into account as well. You can have millions of people saying this is bad, but there's still that 5 to 25% that are doing it just because they don't like a person.
And
they don't even care about what happened.
Yeah, they are just, and they don't even, it's not even not liking the person, they're just angry and they want to go on a power trip, and they might, and yeah, some rando going on a power trip could destroy your channel because unfortunately YouTube's copyright system, it works too well.
Yeah.
Correct.
I think when it just comes down to it, I think that what YouTube has done sets a precedent on how all of this is right now. So it now shows you that you can dox someone, you can threaten someone, and you can have it off platform, you can film it, and then all of a sudden YouTube won't do anything. But let's say, for example, I have a problem with one of you guys, and I go, right, I found out where you live and you've not told me whatsoever. And then I go, fuck you all, and I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to be like, hey guys, look at this is their house, look at it. YouTube, and YouTube ban me. I can then turn around and go, well, hang on a minute, guys, Sniperwolf did it, so why am I getting this thing? And it causes this sort of a thing where they can turn around and go, okay, well, what's the worst? They can't delete my channel, they can only take away my money. So I go, okay, well, I'm suspended for this for a little while. And they go, okay, we're going to permanently ban you. Like, well, hang on a minute. Look at Sniperwolf. She got a week off. She got a month off. So I should be treated. Otherwise, what are you, sexist? Are you against me because of this? And this is now what it's set for everyone. And this is the worst take because, if they banned her straight away and terminated every single channel that she's on and made sure she could never come back, then that sets a whole thing of, shit, guys, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to dox someone because of this. But now it's just like you just get a month break. You'll be back to earning money. Yeah. So that's the main difference.
Yeah, and they do it it's just for optics too. I mean, like, you getting canceled as a big YouTuber, and this is, I hope I get this perk if I ever become a big YouTuber. I mean, like, it's just going on. It's unpaid vacation. That's all it is.
You really want that perk though?
I mean, like, I'd hope I don't do anything that would get me canceled, but like, if I'm big enough, it's like, okay, guess I'm going on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because of the way the news cycle and like just all of our instant gratification with social media works now, people forget easily. That's one of our best traits and one of our worst traits.
Yeah,
true.
If you imagine, like, in a week, people in a week people will move on from this. And to me, it just makes me just think, well, you know, some people aren't going to forget, because look at Mizzy. Like, no one remembers Mizzy, and that was only like, say, maybe like a few months ago, but everyone's moved on because of that. So, you know, they're hoping that Sniperwolf is, you know, people are going to forget. But I think because this is such a big thing, no one's going to forget. Like,
Nope.
They're just going to go all in on it, and they're going to watch her more. I mean, like, you've got also stuff where she was asking minors to twerk on stream for her back, like, you know, like 7 years ago.
Whoa. When
Yeah.
the fuck would it, what? When?
Yeah. This is when, like, there was a whole Omegle craze, and
Yeah.
what she was doing is, like, there's a video of her talking to two minors, and, you know, they ask her age, and obviously she can't say it on thing, so she's like, twerk for me, I want both of you to do it, and then I'll show you my boobs. And they were like, you know, when you're a minor and you're a horny teenager or you're whatever, and some hot girl comes along and goes, all you gotta do is just twerk and then I'll show you my boobs, you're gonna go, holy shit.
So not only is she a troll and a bully, she's a fucking creep. And I'm not going to say the word, but we all know.
I don't think she's
Pretty
I don't think she's a P word. I don't think that at all. I think what she was doing was trying to get that, but it looks like she's a creep. She's creeping on minors, because there was another instance with a Omega where she got a girl to show her boobs, but apparently that was shown for a cam thing or whatever, so it felt like it wasn't that. I don't know too much on that one, or how it all is, but there's that sort of stuff. But the problem is, people are going to be going through all of this sort of stuff now because that's what they want. Like, they will look through everything that she's done just to get revenge, just to get her deplatformed. And I think that should, you know, you've opened the book, you've opened this can of worm just to do it.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Shoot, like she's not the first person to actually dock somebody or you know try to get somebody canceled just for the sake of it. I don't know this person. So this person. What's this guy's name that's been going around the internet lately? Neo.
Oh,
something?
Neon. Is it the?
Yeah.
Is it the kid who's like meant to be like how I see as like a nerd, like that, you know, the film nerd?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like him.
So apparently, like I said, I don't know the kid. I just know he's getting a lot of hate lately for the stuff he's been pulling, and half of the stuff he's been pulling, he can kind of put on himself. He, you know, kind of blame himself for that. But I know I came across this one video of him getting doxxed by this random female that he was video chatting with, and I felt bad for him because he said he just recently had to move because the last person doxed him and pretty much had people coming to his house and everything. So I'm like, damn, like I don't know this kid, but what some of these people do is just utterly fucked up.
I think what it also kind of does is, like, the fact is now, like, the best way I can describe this is basically your home is where you live, where you like reside, where you can then turn off the entire world and relax. But then knowing now that your entire world has now not ended, but it's kind of like stopped. It makes it dangerous. Like, you don't feel safe because you know that someone could pop up and be like, it's the Sniperwolf, or the constant, hey, I'm a big fan of yours. I've always wanted to know where you live, and now I know it for sure. It makes things like 10 times dangerous. Like, I had kind of like going off like experience. Like my room where I am now is the one place that I feel safe in. So I won't invite people in if I know that they are going to make this shitty for me. And, you know, one person that I know would have made that shitty. So I don't want my room to be associated with that. So when I hear like Jack going like, okay, well now, you know, we don't feel safe, I feel sorry for him, because now he may have to move. He may have to go, oh, now we have to pay 100, 2,000, sorry, 200,000 or whatever to go get a new home. And imagine like Sniperwolf's is like tee hee hee, oopsie. What that's done is just fucked him over so much.
I think YouTube should at least, if they're gonna defend Sniperwolf so heavily, they should at least pay Jax Films for the transgression, because he's gonna probably need the money if he'll have to move.
Yeah, see, that's what I actually said on Twitter. Hang on, I said this, and it's done really fucking well. But some people were like, "What the fuck? You shouldn't." And so when they put out the statement, I just said, just wondering if Jax Films has to move due to all of this. Is YouTube going to cover the costs of everything? I mean, a new house, new location, etc. So she gets what, a month break and back to making money off other people's work. Smells like favoritism to me. And some people have actually said like, what the fuck, YouTube? What? I'm like, no, like, yeah, I think that YouTube should have to pay for all of that. They're the ones going like, not stopping her or doing anything. Like it's that it's their fault for enabling this, because she's what, the golden girl. They're not going to do anything, and I'm just like, nah, that's fucking shit as fuck.
I don't think they even showed this kind of favoritism toward the Paul brothers back in their day. I think when Logan Paul, Logan got a light slap on the wrist too. Yeah, but, I mean, like eventually they did, but I mean, like they're even lighter on Sniperwolf right now than they were on Logan. And the thing is, Sniperwolf, she's got 30 million subs. And I think there was a rumor at one point that she was bringing in even more views than even Mr. Beast did, but she's not as big as she used to be. I mean, like, this has had consequences on her. Regardless of what YouTube is doing to defend her, everyone knows what she did and what she is, and her views have taken even more of a toll. I mean, like, she's not completely irrelevant. She still gets like over 1 million views per video, which is insane by any standard, but like, if you imagine if even bigger YouTubers than her, like Mr. Beast or PewDiePie, found out about this, they'd be pissed. And they have genuine leverage that they can use to twist YouTube's arm. Yeah, and imagine if they try to take their business elsewhere.
But we have to look at the situation with the Paul brothers. They did international crimes, and they got off scot-free. Those two should be in jail right now.
Are you talking about their cons?
I'm talking about the stuff in Japan that they did. And then saying, well, we did it for content. You can't come after us for that. You filmed a guy committing suicide on camera and laughing about it.
That was that's not cool. I mean, that was fucking appalling, but like, I mean, the thing is, that was also, it wasn't criminal. I don't know if there's any laws against doing what they have.
The whole reason I bring it up is because of the laws and the shit that they did to all those workers and other stuff, disrupting their work. No, they should have been booted from Japan and arrested in the U.S.
And
charged in both.
I mean, it's the same reason Will Smith gets an Oscar instead of being arrested for assaulting Chris Rock. It's the same reason Louis C.K. can just come back to comedy after a while, after he publicly confessed to sexual assault. It's celebrity privilege.
I think what I kind of think about it as well is, I think it's the same things that you can look at all these other companies as well, like, so throwing in Disney, throwing in loads of other stuff. I feel like it's a part where they don't want the negativity. They don't want the backlash. Let's say, for example, Sniperwolf gets kicked off the platform, and people don't know the main thing. What you're going to get. YouTube is basically making sure that women can't feel safe on this thing. You've banned one of the biggest top female streamers, video makers, for what? You sexist. Same thing as like with Disney. If they had stepped in and got rid of Rachel at the very beginning, oh my god, Disney is they're making women look bad. Like, oh my god, like they got rid of a woman because they're sexist. Okay. Then you've got
murder her because she was toxic as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, she is. Is Rachel Spanish? I can't remember.
I have no
Rachel.
idea.
Rachel Zegler. I don't know.
Oh, Zegler.
Yeah,
Um,
is she Hispanic?
I think she's Hispanic. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you imagine, like, oh my God, like Disney got rid of Rachel. She's a Hispanic woman that has made the most amazing impressions. We hate you, Disney, and they're gonna go, oh shit, this is a PR nightmare. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? It's the same thing as like the same thing as like with comic book films and stuff. Like, if someone will make it out of nothing, and this is what these companies are there for. So if they got rid of Sniperwolf and done it, and then people didn't know, they'd be like, oh my God, you just got rid of like Sniperwolf because she just did this, what the hell? And YouTube just go, shit, we're gonna fold. But people are going to be like, no, hang on, because again, like if you swap it around, and it's just like, oh, they doxed Jack's films. Okay, well he's a man, that's fine then. Someone in thinking they dropped all of the Princess line from the Snow White film. Oh, it's just a man, it's fine. There's no going to be any backlash, because then it's like, oh my God, like YouTube and Disney are taking the sides of men. Who cares about them? It's all about this.
I really want to say that. I really don't want to go into politics about this, but I really don't.
No,
But no, I fully agree with you. Screw the men. Why are men transitioning into women? Well, gee, I wonder why.
Well, I don't think it's that.
Well, it's one reason. There's other reasons.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you're talking about how a bunch of Twitter trolls are going to react, and they come across as a majority because of how vocal they are. But at the end of the day, they are a vocal minority. Most people, I promise you, most people are more decent and sensible than that. They will. I mean, like, you just look at how Sniperwolf's numbers have shrunk. She is bearing consequences for this right now, and hopefully it's just the beginning. Like, hopefully this doesn't even scratch the tip of the iceberg. I think, like, of course you're gonna have some people who, if she's punished, they're just gonna say, oh, it's misogyny, like, because misandry is a bit of an issue right now, but and most people are going to agree, no, doesn't matter what gender she is, she did a bad thing.
Yeah, I think it's even if she loses all, like, loads of subscribers, people just come back and then they subscribe later on because they want to do it, or they'll subscribe for hate watching and stuff like that, and then they get, like, they kick off and stuff. It's going back to what you said about the whole thing of, like, Twitter trolls and stuff. It reminds me of the whole thing of where the comic book industry did a poll, and they said, like, only 10% of people will have Twitter that actually buy comic books. Well, I don't kind of believe that. I think there'd be a lot more, but it's the way that these companies do it, Marvel and DC, where it's like, okay, well, like, one of the big things, they wanted to turn Superboy into a trans woman, and the story had nothing to do with it. Like, they just wanted to do it for politics in it.
There we go.
Yeah, and when it moved into it, they just were like, well, we'll sell loads of book ones. It's like, make a new character, make this is the thing. And it's the same thing as, like, when you see other companies do it, or the same things do it, like, okay, well, now we gotta make sure that we can't have the X-Men, we have to call it something else because this will hurt people, when majority don't give a shit, and it's like, it's only for doing outrage. But are those people going to go buy the comics? No, they're not. They're just going to go, like, I'm so glad that we changed X, Y, and Z. I feel better in myself. And it's
we talked a little bit about that last podcast with Castlevania. I actually did talk to one guy on YouTube who made a decent point, but most of his takes were just crap.
I think,
but it made sense too. So it's like, okay, some of the stuff you're getting right, some of the stuff you're getting wrong. I don't know, but anyways, so I looked up her social blade for YouTube. When did this start happening? The 20th?
It's been like a week or something like that.
Yeah.
So 2 days ago, she lost 15, almost 16 mil of video views. And on Wednesday, she lost 100K subs.
Right.
And then it just went right back up.
See, this is the thing. So I'm also looking at her social blade as well. And yeah, she lost 15,000 video views. And that's either her deleting this stuff. Because remember, as I said
You
before,
did delete the videos of the kids, yeah.
Yeah. So every single time that you delete stuff, Social Blade will kind of track it. So you delete, say, 15 million views. It doesn't mean that she loses it. You know, it's effectively it's house cleaning. So like I know that I deleted some videos a while ago, which I just didn't think was great. So I lost apparently like on Saturday I lost 4,000 views, or on the 16th I lost 2,867 views. Now this is either YouTube doing a cleanup and saying like, you know, these views aren't great from past videos, or I've deleted them, and then that's the case. So Sniperwolf hasn't really lost much because she's gained pretty much at least a quarter of that back. And on daily she's picking up 5 million views, weekly 35. But the fact is, like, when her monetization comes back, people will then go back and watch those videos and she'll start gaining money. She probably won't make as much as what she would have done, but it's effectively she is literally going to make that money back. And no less than that, she's just basically going on holiday. That's all it is.
But the YouTube insanity continues, because I think we've hit this pretty hard on the head.
I do want to say, just one last note on this topic. I mean, YouTube is just being cowardly right now. I mean, like, they buried their heads in the sand trying to ignore it. Turned out it wasn't an option, so they just went with a garbage take instead. They went for short-term gains at the cost of long-term credibility, which is what so much media is doing right now. And that's a shame, because doing the right thing does pay off in the long term. I mean, you look at another company, Johnson & Johnson, they pulled back some kind of pill of theirs because it was having bad side effects. They pulled it back, cost them $1 billion, if not billions, but it helped them in the long term. It increased their trust with their primary consumer base. It was good for their brand. That stuff, doing the right thing, being good and doing things the right way, does pay off in the long term. And YouTube has done the right thing in the past. Yo, if by some miracle anybody from YouTube is watching this, we know you are capable of being better than this. Be better than this, unless all you really care about is advertiser money.
Yeah, be like Disney and cancel Rachel Zegler.
Yeah.
Anyways, so YouTube, on the other hand, is another example of them being dumbasses, and I put that lightly. Why? Because they're owned by Google. We know this. You are going to interrupt people's internet connections and other videos on their systems because you want your creators to have ads. Mark, how many ads do you get per video?
I think that depends, because you have multiple types of adverts. You have skippable adverts, non-skippable adverts, banner adverts, and little things like that. So me personally, I normally put 4 to 5 in, but I kind of separate them over the time because it works a little bit better. And by the time people stop watching, at least most of the adverts are near the end, but I try not to put too many in there.
So I have Adblocker Plus. That came from Google themselves when I had to reinstall Google Chrome. When I watch your videos, it kills my internet.
See, I think I mean, I understand that people want like adverts on there, and I can see why people want to block them. Now, my kind of view is, it's like effectively you're watching someone's content for free that they've put a ton of work into, or not so many work in, whatever you do. And the fact is that if you can't watch a 30-second advert that is skippable, by the way, or could be skippable, that you're effectively taking money from a creator. It's effectively like, say you work in a restaurant in America, like obviously we don't do it much over here, but you're being paid, say, $2 an hour, and then someone comes in and they don't leave a tip, regardless of big or small, and you get really fucking pissed off. Now, if I come across there and I don't leave a tip, I don't care, because in my mind we don't do it over here. So why should I give you extra money? Because for all I know is you've paid for your I've paid for food, you've done your job, and I think that you're being paid for said job. Now, I do tip, by the way, when I come over to America. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a heartless bastard, but that's my sort of kind of thing. Why should I pay you extra money for the food that I've paid for? That is, a meal that's cost, like, say, $10, $20. Why should I then go, okay, well, I have to put another $5, another $10 down because, So that's why I see it with YouTube. If you want to put an ad blocker on, fine, do it. But I think that you should either then donate to the creator, $1, 50 cents or whatever, to say, hey, I'm watching your content for free. Or, if you're a big fan, buy their merch, because, $10, $20 t-shirt, whatever, you're helping that creator out.
Exactly. Like, on my computer, I'll watch, say, a half-hour long episode of something, just to listen to it while I do some script writing. And I'll get maybe a 30-second ad to a minute ad. Now, if I watch, like, say, Markiplier, or FNAF, or any of the big YouTubers that have, like, hour-long streams, Spike Vegeta, and I get I am not joking on this, the longest ad I have ever had on my TV for YouTube, 3 hours and 45 minutes, non-skippable.
Yeah,
until you get an hour in.
Yeah, that there is a good one, because it means more revenue. If I ever get those on my videos, I let them play. I'll go and do something else. I don't care. I'm getting that ad revenue.
I'll be honest, it's not something I have a lot. There's not a lot of skin in the game for me anyway, because I'm just gonna confess, I use YouTube Premium. I'm that bitch, I cannot stand YouTube ads. I get it, the creators need them. That is how they make the majority of their revenue. But being bombarded with ads takes all the joy out of watching YouTube videos for me. And like, I can't even do that on my phone. And ad block right now doesn't really work well on mobile. So I do pay the $15 a month for YouTube Premium. And so this is my confession.
Now, here's where I have the huge problem with this. Okay, fine. Give me a couple ads. Oh, I'm just going to go watch it. Wait a minute. Google, why did you give me this ad blocker for YouTube, your product, your website, and you're saying I'm going against terms of service?
It's probably because they've figured out it's not the best thing in the world, that they don't make much money from it. And the fact is that from their point of view, for their advertisers, like, they've pulled out, or they've lost a lot of money when it comes down to it. So, say that they get 1 billion in, and then all of a sudden, they're getting like 500 million, and they're losing money. That, I think, kind of adds into it a bit more. So I think this is the reason why they're doing it, why they're putting in, saying that we don't want an ad blocker. And to be fair, most people just kind of go, okay, well, fuck it, we're not going to watch this anymore, or we're going to move on from it. So, personally, the only time I will use an ad blocker, and it's going against probably what I said, is from when I go on to news sites and I start reading it. But the only reason why I use it, or I try to use it, is the fact is that the page is littered with adverts. So if I'm making a video on something and I'm reading something from the Daily Mail, which is shit anyway, or I'm reading it from the Times or wherever, and then all of a sudden there's like a million pop-ups saying, do you want to buy a teapot? Do you want to buy some more tea? I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want to be bombarded. Like, I don't mind the occasional advert that pops up, but let's say I look for Figma, which is for the Good Smile company. I don't want 1,000 adverts saying like, hey, did you know that if you go to this site, you can buy that Figma for thingy? No, I don't. I'm going to get pissed off with it.
Yeah, and again, I'm not saying that get an ad blocker to screw over creators. I'm saying if you're going to put an ad blocker from your own company and then say, I'm going against terms of service and then cut off my internet, that's disingenuous, and that's an insult to me, the person who's trying to watch the ads or the YouTube video to give the content creator more subscribers or more views. I'll listen to music and this pops up. I'll be watching speed runs. It'll pop up, and it's like, okay, I'm getting really tired of this. But I feel it's just to sell their YouTube Premium, because almost every single company we've seen with a streaming service is either up the price or, hey, by the way, I want you to pay for this plan so you can have ad-free on your already watchable shows on the streaming service. You're putting ads on top of the videos.
It is a
and
weird.
I have to pay $25 to $30 for a basic plan.
I think maybe they could go around it a bit better. Like, I do see the point of having it, but I feel like a lot of stuff needs to be kind of worked out. I think going to war saying like, oh, we're going to stop your service because you're watching an ad blocker, I think that I think that shouldn't be a part. But then adverts may be like better placed. Like, say you said that you were listening to music. Okay, so why didn't they just have it at the end of the song? If it's in a big playlist, have it at the end. So it's a lot easier, because like you could be listening to, like, say, a playlist and it gets the good part of the song and then suddenly there's an advert for whatever, and then that to me is that's fucking bullshit. So I feel like there's always a ton of stuff that they easily could do 10 times better, but it's one of those things that I think they just kind of fuck about quite a bit.
Yeah, it gets crazy after a while. But putting ads, like Hulu had ads for their basic plan for at least over a year or two, which is fine. It makes you feel like you're watching real TV. Netflix never had ads on anything. Same with Disney Plus.
It's because they need that advertising money, because they know that people aren't streaming that much, or people don't want it. And again, like if someone's going to come on and say Disney Plus, but then Disney are going to say, okay, well, if you want this, then it's going to cost at least $1 billion for it. That's money that they're going to get back in the bank straight away. So yeah, I think it's just, for me personally, I think it's their way of doing it, like their way of getting more money because they think it's the best thing for them, when it's not, and it's just utter shit. Do I think that they could do it? Yeah, by all means, they could easily make things like 10 times better, but unfortunately they don't, because they just think of the money. That's what I think effectively it is.
Yeah, or it could just be money hungry services. We've seen that before.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of money that they do get, they do want it, or they think that it's going to be a great thing, but it just pisses your consumer base. So me personally, I wouldn't want I wouldn't want something. to kind of ruin my experience. But then again, people think that's absolutely fine. So it's just like, oh, come on, guys, seriously, be better. Just do something a lot more interesting with it, and don't fuck your consumer over.
I fully agree. Especially if, and we don't condone this. I'm not saying we can condone it. People are gonna go look to like the Pirate Bay, Kick-Ass torrents, and look at these torrent sites and say, fine, I'm just gonna download all this and go to Plex. Oh look, there's all my stuff. I don't have ad blockers, nothing. Okay guys, how much do you want? Okay, here's my server info.
Yeah, I mean, piracy is never a good thing. For me personally, I'm a very big fan of if you pirate it and you like it, go buy it. Because
I mean, but the thing is, when the only other alternative is supporting a monopoly, I think sometimes piracy is a necessary evil. I say this is a guy who uses go anime and watch and kiss anime shamelessly still. I mean, because when my only other option is supporting Crunchyroll, who have just monopolized anime, who treat their employees like garbage. One is clearly the necessary. One's clearly the necessary evil compared to the other.
Yeah, I mean, I pay for Crunchyroll and I don't mind it, but the fact is, like, there's some animes that when you look it up, like there was an anime I was looking for a while ago, and it was about how to get into voice acting and stuff like that. And I thought, you know what, that's a really, really cool thing. That's what I want, and I can't find it. The DVD, the Blu-ray is super expensive, and I don't want to have to kind of pay for it. I don't want to pay over £100 for a Blu-ray that has maybe like 12 episodes and then I'm done. I don't want that, you know. So yeah, I'll pirate it, and then if I find it cheaper online, I'll definitely do it. Like some major big projects that I'm working on, like for anime and stuff, like Project Aiko and that is over here in the UK. I can't find, or I can find it on DVD, which I have, but I can't find the Blu-ray. I can't find this extra stuff because it costs a lot. So I could easily support it and buy it from America, but I can't watch it because, you know, region locked. So I'll download it, but I will go and buy it if I see it straight away because it's one of my favorite animes. So yeah, I don't condone it completely, but if you're going to support it, or like say The Flash, I could not watch The Flash at all over here in the UK because we would be something like maybe like a month behind, and I don't want to wait a month to watch The Flash. So yeah, I would download it and I would watch it, but as soon as it was released on Blu-ray over here, boom, I buy it. I'd buy the entire series in one go without even thinking about it because it's supporting the official release.
No, I feel that. That's why I still buy Blu-rays and go to the theaters. I want to support. I want to support media.
Yeah, and I think it's important to support it. You know, same thing as like if you do download anime or whatnot, it's easier just to do it because, you know, you're helping it out. Because then people turn around and go, do you know what? Yeah, I can 100% see that that they want this. You know, that they do want more of it. So therefore, it gets back to the studios where they go, shit, yeah, they fucking want that, don't they? Simple. That's what it is.
But I mean, with the ads on YouTube in general, I kind of get why they feel. I don't think it's the best move really, but I get why they feel the need to do it in the short term at least, because YouTube is being bent over a barrel right now. I mean, like, they have competition from TikTok, from Instagram Reels, and like it seems like there is no real middle ground between short 30-second videos and 3-hour gaming videos that people want to watch. I mean, like, and they have to adapt to that kind of competition because they are being threatened in a way that no social media platform has ever threatened them before.
Well, I mean, it's good to have competition because you can move across. But I think when it comes to YouTube, is they've had no competition for years, and you had other companies that have actually popped up that done really well, and YouTube or Google have just come in and gone nope, and then slapped them hard. to kind of take that away. You know, we are the only ones. But when you have TikTok, which from the last time I saw was, this is the #1 search engine. You know, YouTube used to be a thing. Oh, I've got a game I want to play or a movie. I'll quickly look at it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. TikTok, you get like 30 seconds and stuff like that. It changes, and I think when it comes to the way that YouTube now they're scared because someone boots up. Like you've got Rumble, you've got something else I can't remember, socials and that. It just gives people more of a chance to go to it. You don't want to support YouTube, fine, go watch it on somewhere else that has it. Yeah, YouTube needs to sort their shit out properly, or they're not, I don't think they'll get left in the dust. I just feel like they're gonna get absolutely like slapped over and over and over and over again.
And YouTube, I mean, like, competition is almost never a bad thing. I mean, YouTube has been needing competition for a long time. Hopefully this leads to them actually improving. But let's be honest, we found our way around them removing dislikes. They're winning the war against ad blockers right now. We'll find a way around this too.
Yeah, I think it will be a thing that they, if someone wills to do it again. You know, look at say the thing they did with Nintendo and the 3DS and stuff like that, on how they didn't want mods to kind of affect or kind of mess things up. So what did Nintendo do? Oh, here's a patch. But then the modding community went in and went, okay, no, we're changing that. We found a way around your stuff, so we're going to make sure that, you know, you can play those hacked games or use those hacked programs so you can enjoy the system for what it is. You know, fun. That's what people want. And Nintendo can't do fuck all. So
I think, yeah, I second everything you just said there.
Yeah, I just think that if you're gonna take away enjoyment and fun that with Nintendo, then like fuck that shit. But I feel like in general, just people are gonna find a way around it. It's not hard, you know. Boom. We're not living in the 90s, so I think someone's easily gonna go around it.
Yeah, never underestimate the power of the internet.
But with that, I think we should move on to the next one. The Simpsons is really good again.
Yeah, I can't believe it either.
Yeah.
I think you guys were actually ahead of me on this. You guys saw the latest Treehouse of Horror, right? Where they parodied Death Note.
I have not. I honestly
No.
haven't seen The Simpsons since like I was 25.
It started a trajectory to getting good again, like after season 30. They focused on going for Simpsons nostalgia and trying to replay elements of older classic seasons. But they went from doing that and like you know, making you feel sweet about nostalgia, but mostly feeling empty from the lack of new content, to actually kind of more and more pushing the Simpsons to different levels. Like they have this one episode, I think it's season 33, 32, where Marge and Homer get stranded in the woods in the Arctic, and they have to survive against this very viscerally animated savage wild animal. And throughout the whole episode, you're just waiting for the punchline as they're just trying to survive like genuine mortal peril. Homer has to kill the thing by bludgeoning it to death with a makeshift hammer, and they go back to the town like, you know, their bond is stronger than ever. They still love each other, but they are traumatized and they're going to have to live with that. Like, it's a deep episode that takes risks, and that's just kind of the beginning.
Oh wow! So
Like,
after 30-something years, they're finally starting to be serious with it.
yeah, they're pushing it to new places, like they're while also staying true to the kinds of characters they are. Like I think we were talking about this earlier, but Treehouse of Horror, the latest Treehouse of Horror is the best example of that. Like they have this episode where Marge gets possessed by this demon who uses her repressed frustrations towards her role as, you know, a housewife to get her to do horrible things. Like she tries to kill Maggie with a knife.
I remember that episode.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and like then you've got a Death Note parody where Lisa gets her hands on a Death Note, and this sort of Westworld type episode where Homer and the Simpsons, they find out that they are androids in a replayable sort of simulation where Simpsons fans can go and visit and replay all their favorite moments from Simpsons classics, and they escape from there. One part of the episode, these Australian fans try to push Homer into the bush, like in the meme, and then he
Right.
shouts, "Yeah!" And then he shouts, "I'm so sick of that stupid hedge," and then he pushes them in there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's just it's not really, it's not as great as classic Simpsons episodes. Like nothing's ever topped season 6 as far as I'm concerned, but like it is getting good again. Like season 34 is where it really hits that mark, I think.
See,
I had to start watching The Simpsons again. Jesus.
Yeah, man. New episode tonight.
Yeah, I've never truly been a Simpsons fan. I like the movie. I like some of the games. I do like the Treehouse of Horror episodes. They were really great. Their predictability of the future is ridiculous.
They've got a superpower, I swear to God.
Futurama's just as bad.
yeah. See,
I think Futurama is lax compared to how The Simpsons keeps predicting stuff.
Yeah. They
See-
also, sorry, you first, man.
I was gonna say I would watch Futurama over more like say any of the others, because for me personally, I know we spoke about this off recording before. Every single time I watch The Simpsons, all I see personally is stuff like Homer and Bart will do something, like Bart will terrorize the school and then all of a sudden learn a lesson at the very end, and it's like, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. And then like either 5 seconds then does it again, it's like, sorry, I'll not do that again. And then next week we'll do the exact same thing, and like they won't learn character growth. Or Homer would just go out and get drunk and they'd be like, I'm sorry, Marge, I didn't mean to get drunk this weekend, I didn't, blah blah blah, and then just constantly does it. And I'm just like, where is the character growth? Where is the whole thing of like, okay, I understand that you want to change, but I don't see the change. And I think that's what gets me the most when it comes to Simpsons. But if it's getting better, then cool, maybe I'll give it another go.
I definitely get where you're coming from, just like with your frustrations with the show. And that's always kind of a challenge that The Simpsons has had to live with. At the end of the day, the characters cannot be allowed to truly change. Homer has to keep his job at the nuclear power plant. Bart has to stay a kid forever. And I think that's why, honestly, I swear to God, I'm not trying to push this too hard, but I think you would like the direction Simpsons is going now, because they sort of they keeps the roots of the characters. They get back in touch with those while also pushing them in new directions. Like they have this episode where Flanders is pursued by a mob after he finds a bag of money and delivers it to the police, but he had no idea. It's sort of like a No Country for Old Men situation. Like he has no idea that was mob money, and he gets chased after for it, and he has to do some dark shit to survive. It's the question of what happens to Flanders when he's no longer allowed to be a nice guy, when the chips are truly down for this man.
The white wine spritzer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that does sound more interesting, but I'll probably give this another go, because I do kind of want to see if it has changed. I just kind of think that for what it's been on for so many years, most of my life, my entire life, it's been on there. Like, I just feel like they could easily just change it a bit. But again, there have been some bangers of episodes. I think it's just that every single time that I watch it, what I said before is, it doesn't change, and that's what to me is what ruins it. Same thing as like with Family Guy. Like, I get the whole thing is interesting, but I think I just get really, really bored with it. Like, there's no major big change in it. But goddamn, oh my god.
I still think there are at least some episodes you'd like. One of the things, and this is the last thing I'll say, and then I'll shut up. I swear to God. But there's one of the things they focus on is the relationship between Homer and his father, and like, you know, how Homer's dad was just this completely, like, had no emotional intelligence, just completely not a bad man, but with no emotional intelligence, just kind of fucked Homer up, and that's why Homer's sort of a scared man-child as an adult. Like, they explore that, and like, you know, it's touching, it's funny. There's this one bit where, like, you know the whole thing where Homer's mom disappeared, and the dad's got to hide that. Young Homer asks where mom went, and he's just like, and the dad's like, she's dead. Yeah, that ought to hold him.
Yeah, like I did see that one. Like, there's another episode where Marge starts losing the will of humanity. You know, it's like, I think the scene goes like, some woman comes up and says like, hey, I need $25 for gas, or $20 for gas, and she's like, oh, I'll pay you back if you give me your address, I'll send it to you. And Marge is just like, do you know what, I don't care, you're gonna steal from me anyway, so fine, do what you want, you know, but I'm trusting you. And then it goes on for like some time, and then all of a sudden she turns around, there's a letter in the post, and it says like, you know, thank you very much, here is $25 or $20, whatever it was. And then she goes, oh, actually no, there are some really nice, kind people in the world. And it's Grandpa Simpson just walking away, going like, you know, I may be down $20, but at least I've done something nice. And I'm like, that's a really good message. Like, you know, I understand what they were going to fuck people about, but I like that. And I was like, that's kind of growth in characters. Because yeah, Grandpa Simpson's, from what I just remember, was always the whole God damn it, like shakes the fist at the cloud in the sky and be like, oh, I hate you type thing. So I generally like it. Like, there are some nice moments in The Simpsons.
Yeah, I mean, even at its worst, it was never outright bad. It just became mediocre.
Yeah, I think it's, in my eyes, it's always repetitive, and I think that's what kind of gets it. As I said, you have all this sort of stuff always happening, and you just get kind of bored with it. Like, it you know, why should I tune in this week? Because I'm going to see the exact same thing that I saw like 2 weeks ago. But, you know, it's like, I want it to end. I really fucking do. But, you know, it's been on the air for such a long time. I want it to end.
I felt the same way for a long time.
That's why I can only stand to watch up to a certain season. South Park, up to season 14. With Family Guy, up to season 14. You can only watch so much before it just gets, what the hell?
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, entertainment's not meant to last forever, and what it meant in a certain time period changes as time goes on, and it sort of loses that staying power because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's hard to kind of refresh stuff. I mean, let's say Power Rangers, that's been going on for 30 years. It's now on a break until like 2024, 2025. You know, but that could be fresh every single time, that you can tell different stories. But when it comes to you know, if there was no Sentai footage, how often can you tell the same sort of story? Giant monster destroys the city. You know, how can you keep doing it? So, in a way, it's to actually kind of go like, okay, yeah, but Simpsons, how can you improve that? How can you do that? So yeah, that's how I see it.
You just go for different angles that haven't been explored yet. But yeah, and again, that's the challenge, is you got to make sure they stay in the same positions. But like, yeah, at the end of the day, Simpsons needed to take a step forward. They could not keep doing the same thing they've always been doing. And I think the new writers recognize that, and that's why it's been getting better.
Yeah, I see that. But yeah, I might check it out. You know, the fact is that they've got the entire load of Disney and stuff like that they can play around with. So to me, it might be a little bit more interesting. So I'll give it a go, like when it pops up over here. But if I'll just turn over and I'll blame you all for. I've wasted my time on watching shit, guys. Fuck.
They also find like new ways to sort of like how Treehouse of Horror goes over the top. They found ways to do that even in regular Simpsons episodes. Like they have an episode where Homer gets into a car crash and the entire episode is his light flashing before his eyes and all this crazy shit is happening. Like it involves leprechauns and like floating through the air in slow motion. And like, I don't want to spoil it for you. It's too good to spoil, but they have an episode where like some of the coworkers at the factory start a Joe Rogan-esque podcast where what's the professor's name? I'm blanking on his name for some reason, but he explores the dark web and finds some shit that he finds the craziest, darkest shit like that is completely fucking out of the blue for a Simpsons episode. It's just they go ape shit and it's great.
See, I've got to admit, I used to really like the Treehouse of Horrors. I think it's like a what if story. I like what ifs. So like years ago, I used to play the Dragon Ball games, like Tenkaichi, Budokai, and stuff like that. And even though they were fun, every single year they would release the same thing over and over and over. And then sometimes they do like what ifs, like what happens if Vegeta turns Super Saiyan, or what if Frieza won? And I was just like, I love these. Like it was completely different. It was fun. And then so when it came to the Treehouse of Terror, I was like, I really like this. This is amazing. This is a lot of fun. So yeah, like I'm all for like what if. So Treehouse of Terror, I probably would watch. Did they stop them for a while, or did they carry them on? Like, was it a yearly thing, or did they just stop them at some point?
I don't know actually. I'm pretty sure they continued them.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
I enjoyed him. Like I still do, but maybe I should go back and just watch like the old, like the really old Simpsons and be like, back in my day, this is what we all wanted.
Oh man, you and me both. It's definitely, I will say this, it's definitely not nearly as good as the likes of what season 6 gave us. Those first like 7 seasons of The Simpsons, man, they were just they were the closest thing we've ever gotten to a perfect season of television.
Yeah. Oh man, good old TV. Like, to be fair, sometimes I do miss like the old days when it comes to stuff, because I just feel like there's a lot to what you could do, and I absolutely loved it. I do miss it though.
Yeah. I mean, hey, TV's still around. I still watch Toonami. It's nice to go back and just enjoy some nostalgia.
Oh, we don't have much nostalgia. We don't have that much stuff back then. So, but I always find it interesting how humans love the past, and then that's it.
Yeah, so, it's a tempting fucking thing, man. It's a seductive little devil. I mean, it's good to visit the past, but bad shit happens if you start living there. Yeah. You gotta live for the here and now, and you've got to live for the future.
Yeah. The one thing that I absolutely can't stand is when Doctor Who goes back to Victorian London. No one cares about that.
I am glad that's something we get to talk about here a lot, because one thing we try to talk about here on the Global Nerds podcast is, nostalgia is good and things may be rough now, but interesting things are still happening in our world, in the here and now. For all the slumps we get from media, we're also living in a time where media is also like, it's a half slump fest, half golden age kind of thing. It may seem a lot of the times like the future just seems more and more bleak, but the here and now has so much good shit that you can enjoy, that you can look forward to. Instead of saying, remember the good old days, try and realize we're in the good old days right now, man. The now is here. Enjoy it.
Yeah. Most of it is interesting, I think, when it comes to back in the day. I just part of me likes it. I like like I'll watch a lot of Star Trek and stuff like that, but I think just the times, like I want us to move forward with like loads and loads and loads of different things, and I kind of miss a few things, but again, I like moving forward, like, you know. But I just really don't like Victorian Doctor Who. It's fucking, what are you gonna do? Oh, there's a monster. Oh no, fuck that shit. I hate it. But what's our next subject bar me ranting about Doctor Who?
We've been going for a while. If we want to talk about one last topic, save some, or like, you guys want to? I'm kind of torn. You guys want to talk about the rival Snow White that has recently entered the game, or do we want to talk about Once Upon a Studio?
Oh, you mean you mean the counterfeit Snow White film that's being made by a third party studio?
Yeah, because we could talk about that, or if we want to end things off on a good note, and it's one hell of a good note, we should definitely talk about Once Upon a Studio and how much longer do you guys feel like going with this?
I mean, we can talk about it. Well, I really want to talk about the South Park thing.
Oh, come on, that was the funniest one.
Yeah,
I have no idea, bro. I have no idea what is going on there. I'm still wondering what the hell I'm looking at with that picture.
Okay, I think it's really, really cool. So apparently there's a new special coming out, or is out. I don't know when it's dropping, and it's called Into the Pandaverse. So what they've done is, like, you know how, like, say, like, yeah, so like, you know, like with Snow White, and how it's like you're not allowed a white woman because of, like, you know, it has to be diverse. So they replace the South Park boys with ethnic women that are like strong and independent. So like Cartman's a black woman, Kenny's an Asian girl, Stan is whatever, and Kyle is whatever. And that's what it is. It's just replacing the cast with diverse characters that are strong. And I'm like, I know where they're going for, but it's going to get a shit ton of pushback, which I'm kind of here for, because I want to know how they did it. And it's caused...
Which it is getting backlash, and people are trying to sue these two creators. But people keep forgetting that South Park has hit other major issues all throughout the past 4 or 5 seasons. PC Principle and ads to Cartman being transgender and getting big ass boobs.
Yeah, I remember.
This has got to be a parody. This does not sound like something Trey and Matt would do seriously.
No, it's
official.
Yeah, it's the reason why they call it Into the Pandaverse, because it's pandering to people. And I'm like, do you know what? That's actually really funny, because I want to see it. Because again, like, you know, we've all been there. We've all seen it. You know, how many times have, like, we, like, say with Snow White, where it's like, okay, you can't have a white woman playing it because, you know, even though it says the fairest of them all, the with skin as white as snow, and then it's like, okay, we've got to change this. Okay, cool. So they're just basically doing what everyone complains about, and just change it. And I'm just like, do you know what? I'm all here for it. I want to see how they do it, and if they do it right.
And son of a gun, why they have to make Kenny so damn hot?
Yeah, well,
Kenny looks great. Yo, how old are these new, like, versions of the characters supposed to be?
They're like,
I think they're supposed to be teenagers, right?
No, I think they're the standard, like, you know, like women. They're meant to be like just women.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm reading about it. You know, come on, guys, it's South Park. It's clearly a joke. This is gonna be a good episode. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it's only on Paramount, which I'm all for. Like,
that sucks.
Yeah, like, you know, it's going to be available to download anywhere. But yeah, I am more than like happy to watch it. But what's kind of funny is, like, everyone's kicking off about this, like saying like, oh, South Park's this, but it's like, but say a few months ago, they did the whole thing against Disney, where you have a I'm gonna kill you all, ha ha ha, type thing. And it's just like,
Electricity rings.
yeah. So everyone's had this whole thing where they've been kicking off about it. So it's like, stick it to Disney. But the second that they do something like this, boom, they're like, fuck you, South Park. How fucking dare you, type thing.
I mean,
You don't want it.
go ahead.
People really can't take a joke now.
Exactly.
No,
And I
they
think
can't.
We are
Everybody's
in
too
crazy
sensitive.
world. We are in crazy world.
And
I think-
I do agree with Doug from Nostalgia Critic. Probably one of the best episodes we got was Osama bin Laden has party dance.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
It was the episode we needed at the
it
time,
went
man.
so over the top about that situation and how stupid it got, and Cartman being this absolute hero even though he is a complete and utter dick. It just, this is no different. This is no different. They're taking something super outrageous and stupid, and they're making an episode about it to make fun of it.
Yeah.
And
Typically, and straight to the point.
I just want to see how else they're going to, like, I want to know what the Pandaverse is. I want to know what they're going to do with this, because you know that, like, female versions of the characters, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah. I think they're going to go, like, to town on it. Like, what was the one where Randy has, like, a weed farm, and it's just,
Yeah.
like, but, yeah, it was the
Integrity weed.
Yeah, but it was the whole COVID thing where that ran for a long time, and I'm like, do you know what? That's fine. Like, if we're gonna have this all the time, I want something to kind of like laugh at, because we've all been there where we've just seen the fact that, something gets changed or someone demands that it gets changed, and we're like, we don't like that, and then all of a sudden it's just like, they're taking the piss out of it. This is something fucking normal. South Park's never, maybe back in the the early days, they never would have tried something like this. But now it's like, what's it gonna do? It's not gonna harm you. It's not gonna fucking come after you and like kill you. It's gonna make you laugh, or, as people say, if you don't like it, don't watch it.
Yep.
But in the age of entitlement, everyone feels like they've got to be some kind of justice warrior.
Yeah.
Now.
Like, there's one thing in this life that I am hoping changes, and I really hope that we look back in, like, say, 5 years time, 10 years time, and go, what the fuck were we on about? Why did we let this happen? Why did we let Twitter ruin lives? Why did we let someone like be entitled too much, or why did we let someone just complain all the time? Like, I am hoping we change this at some point.
I fully agree. And that's how I feel about a lot of this mess the past couple months of shenanigans.
The grand enlightenment is coming. I'm totally that's totally something legit to call it. But hey, I feel like what the world needs right now is to lighten up, and I think that can happen. I think it's possible.
Lighten up and get a thicker skin.
Same deal. I mean, like, all stoicism is, at the end of the day, it's being indifferent to your problems, to your obstacles. It's just saying fuck it. That's all it is.
Yeah, like, I'm hoping, like, me personally, I know that the world is, I know what the world's like, and I know things are changing, and I personally would like it to change for the better. But I know that we have to have this. We can't live back in the old days. We have to kind of move past a lot of stuff. But I feel like it's now loopholes of, well, I didn't get invited to that convention that's happening, or I didn't get any screeners because for Cosmic Fury because I'm now angry and I'm entitled to it, or I find it offensive. Like, I'm just like, I just don't care. And I feel like that's
Right.
not the best thing to have. Like, it's more like, okay, cool, I didn't get a screener. Cool, I didn't get this. Awesome. And I'm now different. I don't know. Like, I'm offended that Rachel Zegler is in this. All right, cool.
Speaking of Rachel Zegler and old classics, what do you guys think of this? The new challenger appearing.
Who's the new challenger appearing?
The Daily Wire. You guys, any listeners out there you've probably heard of them. Conservative sort of media outlet. They are trying to make their own version of Snow White. I think it's called Snow White and the Evil Queen. One of their own, Brett Cooper, is going to be playing Snow White. What do you guys think about it?
I heard about that. I seen the video on it, and I am honestly excited about this. Like anything that's gonna rival and challenge whatever bullshit Disney is putting out now, I'm all for it. So if this does as good as I think it's gonna do, then hey, I will watch it like day one.
I mean, the trailer is clearly they clearly cobbled it together at the last minute, as they kind of had to. They had to get it together in time to take advantage of sort of like the cultural zeitgeist. But for what it is, the cinematography is really good. Brett Cooper does seem to have an appreciation of what went into the old fairy tale. So I'm sure it'll probably be a new take on the character that also stays true to the roots. What I'm really hoping doesn't happen. I'm saying this as somebody who has already seen one movie from the Daily Wire that turned out to be shit. I really hope that they don't prioritize giving the middle finger to Disney and trying to make a political point over actually telling a good story. Because in a company that's run by scumbags like Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh, I have a suspicion that might be what happens.
Yeah, see, I mean, I think if you're going to poke fun at, like, say, Disney, or you're going to try and put politics into it, just don't focus on it, make the story, and then add it in. Because I just feel like everyone's sick and tired of it. Like, you want to watch this new thing about Snow White? Awesome. Cool. Whatever film? Awesome. I don't want to sit there and be told that what I'm doing is wrong or I'm bad. I just want to be entertained. Just entertain me. Don't discipline.
See, that's what I said about The Little Mermaid. That is all I ever said about The Little Mermaid. Is, can you stick to the source material? Can you entertain me?
Yeah.
Well, you failed at both. I didn't care about the actors. I didn't care about the actresses. I cared about the studio doing a good job. And they failed.
What I feel like, I still haven't seen The Little Mermaid, but I feel like there's this stigma around entertainment right now. It's being called just a distraction. It needs to do better. And you know what? For better or worse, it is a distraction, but that's not a bad thing. People need that sort of healthy dose of escapism to step away from their problems and then come back with a healthier, more refreshed perspective. Entertainment helps. Distraction, like the right amount of distraction, a healthy dose, helps. And on top of that, movies, fairy tales, myths, they are very practical ways of conveying lessons and philosophies that really can stick with you and help you solve your problems. And I feel like a lot of people kind of forgot about it and sort of just dismissed most entertainment as, oh, it's just a distraction. Yeah, but that can be helpful. I hope am I rambling here? Oh,
No, you're not rambling. I think no, you're definitely not rambling. If you were, I'd be like, really? Why the fuck are you rambling?
No, I trust you guys to call me out on that bullshit when I'm doing it. Thank you.
Nah, man. Whenever you start going over the top, we're gonna be like, Chris, cut it, cut, just stop.
But yeah, I feel like fairy tales are a special thing, and I feel like we're trying too hard to move away from that when we should be taking cues and lessons from fairy tales, because I said this in an earlier episode. Making everything about politics and culture, that's a fickle thing, because today's zeitgeist might become cringe a year or two later. going back to classic themes and motifs, and that things like fairy tales provide, that's timeless. That shit is timeless, and it is not going, and that's not going to age out.
It's I personally, I just generally want to be entertained, and again, like, things could completely, like, utterly change tomorrow, and yeah, I just want to be entertained. It's not hard. Just oops.
And that is not a bad thing at all. And
Yeah.
I think it's cool that, like, a new media company is trying to make their mark, and I hope this does well. I like an underdog story. I just hope that they don't go with their old tendency and try to make everything about the culture war. Which I still think the culture war is the stupidest shit ever. If anybody in our audience is really is unironically dedicating that much of your lives to the culture war, you're a grown adult. Go read a book or something and get a hobby. You got better things to do.
As they say, go outside and touch some grass.
There you go, man. There you go.
Yeah, just touch
Like,
that.
seriously, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
Just touch that grass.
But I mean, hey, and the fact that the good stuff in fairy tales, man, Disney did bring us a lot of that in a day and age where, they weren't going through their current slump of a phase. But speaking of good shit that Disney has done, they did something great lately. Would you guys like to end this episode by talking a little bit about Once Upon a Studio?
Fill us in, because I have no idea.
All good, man. It's a thing of beauty, dude. It's a I don't remember if it's like 5-10 minutes long. It's brief. It's not even 20 minutes long. It's a celebration of Disney's 100 years of being around, and it's like the idea is all the workers have left the studios, and all of the characters come out of their paintings in the studios, and
I think he broke.
Yeah.
Oh no, he froze.
Yeah.
Disney got to him, damn it.
How dare you talk about it? No, he's back now.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm
Yeah.
back.
There he is.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
I know what you're talking about now. I have seen it.
Yeah, it's
I think I've
it's
seen it, but I
great.
didn't know what it was called.
It definitely feels a lot more genuine than something like Ralph Breaks the Internet did. Instead of focusing on brands and what's trending, they focus on, look at all these characters we have created. I mean, like, everybody is there. Of course, Mickey and Minnie come out of the paintings first, but the second character who comes out of her painting is Tiana from Princess and the Frog, the last 2D main character we ever got. That felt special. They got so many moments, like the puppies from 101 Dalmatians get traumatized by Chernobog. Gaston gets trolled by the Cheshire Cat. They have this bit where Timon and Pumbaa, they walk past Olaf, and Timon calls Olaf Frosty. Several little moments like that just make it great. Oh my god, I'm gonna start geeking, so stop me if I ramble. But like, the genie comes out at one point, and they use dialogue from the deleted scenes with Robin Williams for the character, and I almost cried at the end. Quasimodo sings.
Oh, wow.
Quasimodo sings again. They bring Quasimodo back, and he sings.
See, I with the whole Robin Williams thing, like, they obviously the deleted stuff. I generally thought that they couldn't use any of his stuff for X amount of years because that was in his contract. Or I'm sure that was a thing.
The movie's like
I
30
remember
years
correctly,
old by
yeah.
now.
Like I think I seen the video you talking about, Chris, the Once Upon a Studio thing. Like it's all the 2D characters. Well, I saw a clip of it, so it might be the same thing. But it's like Mickey talking to the picture of Walt, right?
Yeah.
He does talk to the picture of
Okay,
Walt at one point,
Yep, that's the thing I saw. I was like, okay, this looks different. I didn't know what it was, but okay, nice.
Just having a quick
I'll
look at
look at
the
the whole thing.
Yeah, because Disney and him had a fallout. Yeah, and he came back. I think it was like you can't use. They couldn't use his name, his voice to sell something or whatever. But to be fair, I'm glad that they brought it back and able to kind of add that little thing to it, because that actually makes things like 10 times nicer to actually hear something original. So someone actually had to kind of go through and listen to it. So again, I was like all happy for that one. I generally thought that they were going to say something more about Walt, like see you, pal," and then that was it.
But yeah, they kept the focus on the characters, and I think that's really cool because Disney deserves all the criticisms they get as a company and more. But there are some really talented artists at that studio who put so much work and so much love into the products of that company. They do not deserve to get caught in the crossfire. And what we saw here was just another demonstration of what Disney can do when they put heart in it and let the artists do their thing without all the bullshit executive meddling.
Yeah, if they go back and then just do everything that, sorry, I'm trying to word it better.
Made it good.
Yeah, just made things good. Like, I think that they could get back on top of the world. Like, we all know what's going on and stuff. Like, we know what they're like. But could you imagine if Disney just went, "All right, guys, we're just gonna work on this, not go into politics, not do anything different," and then just kind of add in stuff, like just actually make stuff good. Because look at that whole, the what the studio did. Oh, it would just be perfect. Like, if you got excited and wanted to cry because of that, oh man, that sounds. That's what they should be focusing on.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, man. But yeah, Disney did something right, and they did something great. So yeah, anybody in our audience who hasn't seen Once Upon a Studio yet, go check it out. It's amazing.
Yeah, I think I watched mine on TikTok because that's the only thing that came up was it's on TikTok. So, but I generally kind of liked it. I thought it was actually quite decent, and it's something that I would like to see more of, to actually go, do you know what, you're actually doing things quite well. But if they do it, awesome. If they don't, well, we'll see about it.
Yeah, I still think Disney right now, it's more than they've had bad phases before, and this one is particularly long lasting. As long as they've still got artists that talented who they are willing to give free reign when it matters, I feel like Disney can't be counted out just yet for all the other just bullshit they have been behind as a company lately.
It would be nice, but again,
yeah.
I mean, Disney still has some ironing out to do to get back in everyone's good graces again.
Oh yeah, big time. I mean, but yeah, big time. But I feel like this at least shows us that they can still make a good thing when they really want to.
True.
Yeah, and with Wish coming out very soon. Yeah, with Wish coming out very soon, I feel like the movie, not the shitty purchasing app, but yeah, with that movie coming out soon, I feel like it makes me cautiously optimistic. And would we like to end on that cautiously optimistic note, or do you guys have anything else you'd like to talk about?
I am good.
So yeah, we will catch you nerds later around the globe with some more fascinating topics. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We love you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, peoples.